Okay, this video is for people who have twisted their leg too far to the point to where it actually pops off. And I'm going to show you how to put it back in. Okay, so say your leg pops off, and usually these two shims come out, and also there's the black piece that is in this, the twist lock itself, and this sometimes can also pop out. And what I see people sometimes do is they just try and put these back on and just shove it back in. And sometimes some of either these shims get stuck up in there or this gets stuck up in there. So how do you get that out? What I do is I just take a hanger. If it's up there really far, if it's not too far, you can grab it with your finger. But if it is up there far, just get a hanger, bend it with a little loop on it, and then you stick it in there and drag it out. Okay. So this is how you put it back together. Now this has a ring with a bevel on it and just a simple ring here. The ring with the bevel on it goes on the leg that fell off. And what we want to do is we want to put this plastic ring inside the ring, right up against, well, and I'll show you with there's a little track right here, this little groove. This groove needs to match a groove that's up in here, and that's where the piece needs to rest. So I'm gonna take a second, make sure it snaps up into that groove. Okay, looks like it's good. Now it needs to be nice and flush there, so it will actually go on this piece. I don't have it totally flush, and so it wasn't ready to go on. Okay, so just take a minute to make sure, get it flush. Okay, we got it on. Now what we do is we take the two shims and we just match up these two little raised holes and match them with the two holes here, put it on like that, and then we put the other shim on. What these shims do is make it so the leg, when it's loosened, will stop. Now we've got a little space between the two shims on either side, and there's also a little track in here, maybe a little raised spot. So I take my finger and feel where that little piece, there's a little groove there, and I want to make sure it goes in that groove. Otherwise, it will be tough, and you don't want to try and jam this in because you'll damage your shims, okay, and have to replace them. Okay, now what I do is once I put that in there, I just screw this on. And so just want to make sure, I'll loosen it just slightly, that pushes in, okay? And then you unscrew it like that, goes all the way in, then you can screw it all the way in so it's tight. So that's how you put it in. And if in the future, just make sure that you don't unscrew this too much, otherwise the leg will fall out. Now if the leg's a little bit stiff and you have a little bit trouble of maybe pulling it out, instead of unscrewing this a bunch, try and just twist it back and forth just a little bit and see if you can get it in. Because sometimes maybe a little grain of sand or something gets in between this and the leg, and it can be a little bit difficult to work out sometimes. But just don't unscrew the whole leg, or else you'll have to go through that process that I just went through to put it back in.